All right. I am actually recording this deck tech after the fact. We had some really great games today. I know that you guys are going to enjoy them. So, we are taking today a look at True Storm, as close to the Legacy Power Level Storm as I think we're going to see here in the Historic No Ban List event. A lot of cool things are happening with this. We are playing Mind's Desire, a card that, for the most part, being legal in Historic has not resulted in a lot of play for this card. But the whole idea with this thing is you cast it. It has Storm, so ideally you've cast a bunch of Storm, or you have a bunch of Storm before this, and you've cast a bunch of your 0 mana or low mana spells. And basically, this will copy itself for each one of those, and you get to play those cards that are exiled without paying their mana costs. So, what do we want to do here? Well, eventually, it's a Tendrils of Agony kill, but to get there, it's kind of a lot of setup. So, this spell costs 6 mana and it requires 2 blue mana pips. We have a way to get a lot of mana early with Channel, but this requires 2 green pips. And then we also have another way to ramp ourselves with Demonic Tutor, but this requires a single black pip and it only generates black mana. So we're kind of pulled in a couple of different directions here, and what this ends up resulting in is a deck that can do what it wants to do, but it's a little bit slower than your typical just channel put in Emrakul decks. So how we're going to make this work is we have to play slower. We're going to set up with things like Brainstorm. We'll save ourselves from opponents' Tendrils of Agony with our Veils of Summer, and we'll just generally try to set ourselves up using Mishra's Baubles and Chromatic Spheres and Chromatic Stars. Chromatic Spheres and Chromatic Stars are good to play out early because they just sit on the battlefield, and then later when you're trying to get a combo going, you can leverage them for additional card advantage. So how this deck generally wins is by using Assemble the Team and Demonic Tutor to find some sort of mana advantage, whether that's a channel, a Dark Ritual, or something like that. Then we'll need to additionally have a Mind's Desire in hand. This can be, tutored out if we already have the mana side of things, or if we have this in our hand, then we just tutor for the mana things. So we need to take hands with this in mind. You gotta have the payoff and you gotta have the mana. What we want to do is channel, ideally, and make a bunch of mana. We'll be able to filter that mana through Chromatic Sphere and Chromatic Star into the mana colors that we need. We'll then be able to accelerate our black mana with Dark Ritual, and this will be what we use to just pay the generic mana cost of our Mind's Desire. And then either with our remaining lands or with more filtering, we'll be able to get the 2 pips for Mind's Desire, and we'll be able to cast based off of channel. So with all of that happening, we're going to be able to get a Mind's Desire for like maybe 3 or 4 or something like that. But hopefully we've also drawn some Mishra Baubles, some Brainstorms, and we've maybe played a Sphere or Star along the way. The Dark Rituals, 1 or 2 of those, plus the Demonic Tutor to find them, generally will mean that we have our Mind's Desire at 2 to 3. And what we want to do from there is continue and do more of the same. So Mind's Desire might hit a Tendrils of Agony. We could cast that. It might hit a Tendrils of Agony and a bunch of other spells. We can also just work with that. Sometimes we'll hit our Karn, and then we can go into our Karn board. We can find a Aetherflux Reservoir, and then use our spells to kill our opponent. If you want to see this version of the combo, definitely check out Game 5. And there's just basically a lot of things that we can hit. We can hit more Dark Rituals and then just mana back up to go again with Tendrils, or to just play another Mind's Desire. Sometimes Mind's Desire hits a Mind's Desire, you just cast everything else and then a bigger Mind's Desire. And from there becomes a point where you just have all the things that you need and you find your Tendrils and win. There are a lot of good counterspell decks in the format right now, and that's something that's worth addressing. This deck is particularly good at those because it's playing Storm cards, and your Mind's Desire can be countered, but the Storm trigger will go into the stack when you cast it. And that is something that cannot be interrupted. It's a thing that immediately goes on the stack before any player gains priority again. So countering your Mind's Desire doesn't counter any of the Storm copies, so that is something that you will see again in one of these games. Same thing goes for Tendrils, so if you're worried about your opponent having counter magic, you just need to figure out how many counter spells they have, and then Tendrils for n+2, where n is the amount that kills them. A lot of thought in this deck. I think that it's built pretty well. It functions pretty decently, I would say. and I think you guys are going to like it. So definitely hop in and watch the rest of the video. There are some really good games in there. If you guys ever enjoyed the content so far with the historic no ban list format, do drop a like on the video and comment if you like this deck and tried it out. I want to know how you did. If you're new here, you can also show your support in a different way by subscribing to the channel if you're new. But with that being said, there is nothing else to do but hop into some games. So let's play a few and get going. This is No Bans Mind's Desire combo. Let's go. All right, let's give this one a try. So we have a channel, and we eventually do have Demonic Tutor off of Dark Ritual for something. What would I want? I eventually need to be able to cast Mind's Desire. I can do it off of the 2 lands here. So what do I get? I need to get a second green source for channel. And then after that, I need 1 more blue mana source. I think I'll use Dark Ritual for a Storm turn, and then I'll probably use Brainstorm to figure out what I want a Demonic Tutor for. I'll keep this hand. So let's start with a Mana Confluence. Confuse them on our colors, maybe. Oh, is this just channel? Ooh, okay, another potential combo deck here. Let's Brainstorm. We find another mana source for green. We have Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual. So on turn 3, we can Dark Ritual, channel. Oh no, but then we want a blue. So we will Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor for a 0-drop, and then Mind's Desire. So it doesn't matter the way that I play this, I guess. It's just I'll put Dark Ritual up top. Okay. So they get that. We'll go to our turn. We will play this, and I said that I was going to Demonic Tutor for a 0-drop, and then we'll hold that for next turn. So if I do my math, we have blue, Underground River makes Dark Ritual. Oh, it's a Dark Ritual. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I won't be able to Demonic Tutor. So that means I can Demonic Tutor now for a 0-drop. Okay. Let's find our Mishra's Bauble. And we'll say go. Our opponent has channel, that sucks, but we'll be able to potentially keep going throughout that. So our next turn looks like Mishra's Bauble into Dark Ritual, Mind's Desire. That'll be on Mind's Desire for 3, a total of 4 looks. Alright, they Demonic Tutor, that's fine. I'll get the first crack at it right now. Okay, so here is this. Let's Dark Ritual. Mishra's Bauble. Take a look at my opponent's top. They have Veil of Summer, so I'm glad we're doing this now. And then here's Mind's Desire. Alright, 4 looks here. Assemble the team, not ideal. A land, also not ideal. Second Mind's Desire is good. Okay, so we get to try one more time here. We'll find another 0-drop in our Mishra's Bauble. Luckily, we are able to get one. Here's Mishra's Bauble. Let's take a look at the top of our library now. We're about to see it, but it doesn't matter. Here is Mind's Desire number 2 for 6. And if we hit a Tendrils, we are looking pretty solid. We're hitting a lot of lands here, though. Demonic Tutor something. Veil of Summer, that's iffy. Chromatic Star, also not very good. Chromatic Sphere, also not very good. We have to hit here. Ooh, that's tough. So I can Sphere Star. We can filter into blue. I think it's unlikely we can ramp here. Let's see what we draw. Mishra's Bauble. I mean, we'll just draw back up next turn. But that's unfortunately not going to be useful in this situation. Can I get any quick mana here? It doesn't look like it. I'll just increase storm count and then what can I really do here? Doesn't look like much. I think I'm just casting out my hand. We could not have made any mana for channel. We can demonic tutor. What would we even find at this point? I think we don't have a win here, unfortunately. That is tough. If I had Dark Ritual... I could have played towards Dark Ritual, and then we sack something finding Tendrils. Let's brainstorm. Ah, darn, there's our Tendrils. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have it here. So what does our next turn look like? It's probably Karn for something, and then we just go for the life gain route. So I want to make sure that I draw Karn next turn. Well, it doesn't matter how I do this, because I'll just draw due to my baubles. Okay, fine. Okay, so we pass the turn to our opponent. They get to attempt to kill us here after our failed win attempt. Let's see if they can do it. If they are not able to win here, then I have another chance next turn. We are pretty... So if we have channel... So yeah, they're going to channel. Let's see what they do. If they Ulamog my lands, then I'm probably just done for here. Etherflux Reservoir, okay, and then they have Karn. Mystic Forge, sure. Okay, so this is the Golgari Artifact Storm route. Another very strong variant out of Channel Storm here. They might just have us here. Aetherflux Reservoir can do a lot. Radic Sphere is huge. That's essentially just a free draw. Yeah, I think they're going to have us here with this one. Channel too strong. Here's Karn. Karn will find something. And they have the potential to have a card that combos with Aetherflux just right now. Let's see if they have it. It's the card that on ETB bounces a permanent, which can bounce itself, and then you recast it with Aetherflux, gaining more life each turn. So I imagine we're dead now, but let's see what they choose. Looks like they might have a bunch of choices here. Okay, well, Well of Lost Dreams is not what I was expecting. We're not technically dead yet, but it's looking like it's pretty likely that we are dead. Our opponent has 2 mana of any color, meaning that Veil of Summer will work. Pretty cool card draw here. This is interesting. They Demonic Tutor. And, I mean, they can just cast zeros here and kill me with Reservoir. Well, we'll let them combo all the way out. Pretty cool deck here. I have this one in my recording queue, so do expect to see it soon. Other than that, I think our opponent's got us here. I am respecting them for sticking through my combo turn by sticking through their combo turn. It's all about that give and take sort of relationship here with the other players here. Because if you don't let your opponents finish, they're not going to let you finish. And that's no fun. Our opponent is just ping-ponging from almost 50 life to like 25 life and then back up to 49. That's pretty funny. Okay, so one more spell will do it here. And it will be Lembas that finishes us off. This Well of Lost Dreams thing is just insane. Oh my gosh. So pretty much how it works with these Karn packages in Channel is that if you can get 2 activations out of Karn, you can pretty much combo kill your opponent. So basically we have the turn after Karn gets played to combo off, otherwise our opponent will just have us. It's an interesting thing that we're seeing develop in the format. As people are playing this and innovating with new decks, I think that we're getting some really interesting builds coming around. So anyway, look for this one from me in the future, but for right now, let's hop into another round here with our Storm deck. Okay, here we go. Round 2, if I recall correctly. Let's see, what do we think about this one? Dark Ritual, Channel are both okay. Channel plus Chromatic Sphere is a free draw. And then so this is a turn 3 Tendrils for like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only a little chunk of damage. I think I'll try it for now. Might draw into something better here. Ooh, a land's not it. We want to be getting actual cards here. Enters tapped. Brainstorm, that's okay. Opponent ships it back. Alright, looks like they're on some sort of counter magic play. We will just send in some tapped lands here and let them wait it out for us. They go Brainstorm again, sure. We just need them to tap out and then we can do our thing. If they're smart, they will just slow roll this game out, which will definitely benefit them. We find our Mind's Desire, which basically means that as we spend more turns playing out lands, Mind's Desire gets better. So, from this position, I would be able to channel and then have open either... So, my next turn, that is. My next turn would have open a Tendrils of Agony. It's not good enough yet. We end turn. Brainstorm, sure. Is this just mono blue control? That's cool. Eventually they'll run out of cards, right? Censor, okay, so they play Censor. Might just be Counterspell Tribal, I guess. I'm gonna hope that they have to win somehow. Our Brainstorm for ourselves is great. Let's put in a tapped land here. And you know what? Maybe I do just Brainstorm on the end step to test their counter magic. They go for the Borrower, sure. We're really not worried about that at all. Does my Brainstorm happen now in that case? I'll still wait till their end step. I'd like to eat up a counter spell. That would be pointed at my channel or something. Okay, draw. And maybe this will set us up too. Nope, so they're not taking the bait here. We'll put 2 Tendrils on top. In any order, I will Brainstorm again. Try to bait out another counter spell. They do not take the bait. Put 2 Tendrils back, and we will draw those for our next turn. And I mean, you know, we didn't really see them do anything here, so what if we just decided to channel? Channel's kind of very important here. This needs to resolve. If I'm them, I immediately counter it, but... Ah, crap. Oh, well, we will definitely pay 2 for this. We need to not pay it like this. Whatever, I'll be able to use my Chromatic Stars and Spheres to get my blue mana for Mind's Desire. Okay, do they have a second one of those? So I can Ritual and still be able to do this. Alright, you'll have to have a third one of those. Alright, now we're sitting with a black mana, so we will cast Chromatic Star, cast Chromatic Sphere, and then filter 2 colorless into blue, cast Mind's Desire. If we hit another Sphere or Star, then we cast everything out of the Mind's Desire, cast the Sphere and Star, pay a life to filter into a second black, and then cast Tendrils, and hopefully that would be enough to kill our opponent. Alright, wow, what a battle there. Our opponent had double Spell Pierce, and we were able to Dark Ritual our way through into a point where they felt like they couldn't win. To be honest, I think that our win there was definitely up to chance, but I will respect our opponent for seeing the writing on the wall and saying that they're out of there, so... Pretty good round 2 there. This one felt like we were playing some powerful Magic there. It had a little bit of flashes of Legacy there with the near free counter Magic against the broken combo deck. Well, that was pretty fun. Let's hop into round 3. Alright, it's round 3 here. And we have an interesting hand, don't we? 1 lander. We can use a Chromatic Star to Ritual into tutor. This one could be a good keep if we just draw a second land. I'm almost considering using Chromatic Star for mana. Ooh, this is really a tough one. I'm not sure I see a line here. Chromatic Star, turn 2, Dark Ritual, cast Demonic Tutor. We're left with 1 black floating. I don't really know what I get off of the tutor. Yeah, we won't have enough blue mana there. I think that this is a mulligan, unfortunately. There's no line. This one has a very obvious line in Channel after casting Demonic Tutor to find something to do with it. I think I definitely keep this one. We'll keep all of our lands, and we are on the play, or on the draw, sorry, against what appears to be a Channel deck, so, well, we'll see what happens. I'd love to have Swansong here to counter Channel, but we're not playing that deck today. Ooh, maybe it's not Channel. Okay. Let's brainstorm. Put Tendrils on top, and this actually feels pretty good. We'll want the land first in case we find something, find a reason to shuffle. Okay, so we can cast Channel here, but it doesn't do anything. We'll need to wait and then Demonic Tutor. We can find a Karn. If we find Karn, that's maybe almost a good thing. I think I need to wait a few turns for them to set up and for me to set up until these Demonic Tutors can find something that actually wins us the game. Because I'd ideally want to Demonic Tutor into... So I need to play Channel, having 2 mana. I need to Demonic Tutor into my Mind's Desire. That's another 2 blue pips, so I need 4 lands. Plus the black mana for Demonic Tutor. So I really gotta wait till turn 5 here. Unless we find a Chromatic Sphere or Star. Mishra's Bauble will just be here as a Storm, probably. See what our opponent plays. Grave goes tapped, and, well, I could start the Demonic Tutoring now. If I get a Sphere or Star, does that matter? I can Demonic Tutor for another Brainstorm, potentially. That gets us pretty far ahead. Do they have a counterspell for this? Oh, negate, okay. Well, now we know that that is a thing that my opponent can do. We'll have to push our Channel through one of those counterspells. So now we also need to wait for a situation where our opponent taps out. They foretell what I have to imagine is either Alrund's Epiphany or Saw It Coming. So we have 2 Storm here. We can Tendrils for 2. That seems pretty not great. What does Demonic Tutor find here? Demonic Tutor could find something. Maybe get Karn. Well, Karn doesn't really find anything either. Not immediately, at least. I mean, we could just go for a Channel play here. I guess I'm down for that. Here's our 1 Karn. Play Karn. Oh, wait. Don't play Karn. Channel. Let's see if they have the 1 mana counterspell. They do not. Here is Karn. And I have a choice to make here. So, what do I want to take? Aetherflux Reservoir is good. Portal of Phyrexia is bad. Cityscape Leveler is bad. Chromatic Orrery is good. Chromatic Orrery is very good, actually. This gives me a decent Tendrils. But then after that, I don't really have anything. So, ooh, maybe it is just Chromatic Orrery. This gives me the mana to cast my Mind's Desire down the line. So I will play Orrery. Autopay. Mishra's Bauble. And then we get Tendrils for 6, targeting my opponent. It's a good start. Doesn't immediately kill, but we have double Mishra's Bauble to try to draw into something. Plus we can Karn into another thing next turn. So opponent is at half life right now. Take a look at the top of their library. They have a negate coming down, so at least that wasn't in hand last turn. But now we know we gotta play around some more stuff. Unfortunately, Orrery doesn't do for anything. Doesn't deal any mana. We draw Dark Ritual. That's good for a Tendrils, potentially. And I think we just kind of take the slow play of... maybe just going with Karn again. We can get the One Ring. The One Ring gets negated. Chromatic Sphere. Is this worth a negate? Wow, they say that's worth a negate. Alright. So I think now we just check, do you have another counter spell? I also can just hit them with Orrery starting next turn. Here is the One Ring. It's a counter if you have it. Makes sense. So I was double negate out of my opponent. Lantern. We do have 3 colors among permanents. I believe islands and or like basic land types do cover colors, but we'll have to see next turn. I actually don't really know how that interaction works. Wow, okay, so that is a Mind's Desire. Does that really do anything for me? I'll have to use the Chromatic Orrery, though. And I think what I need to do now is just attack for 7. Swing in. Opponent goes to 3. They have to produce a blocker now, and then we will just try to go on another angle with a Storm Kill. Alrund's Epiphany, that's a tough one. They get a 7 power creature. That kills our Karn. They hit me for 9 here. Another Alrund's Epiphany kills me. It looks like our opponent was just on Sultai Control. We pass, they go, and is it another Epiphany? We do need this Orrery to stay around, ideally. Okay, so we killed Karn, leaving up a blocker for Orrery. They don't know that it goes back to being a thing after this. So I think I just Dark Ritual, Mind's Desire, and see if that is enough. So I could attempt to draw for this. Honestly, I don't know the ruling. Someone's going to have to help me with that in the comments. We are going to float black. Float 1 black so that Mana Confluence can cast Tendrils, and if we get a channel, we can also cast Channel. And it also doesn't matter because we have Chromatic Orrery, which is allowing us to cast our spells with colorless mana. So here's Mind's Desire. They can counter one of them. They don't, and we have Tendrils, so that should be a win unless they have a counter spell. We will get 1 more Storm out of Chromatic Star. We can just shock in a land here, and this is Tendrils, pointed at our opponent. They need to counter 2 of these. Oh, 3 of these, sorry. Yeah, they would need to count all of them. Alright, wow, so we were able to survive. Took us 2 attempts here, but we were able to make it happen regardless. Pretty good game here. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Fun times. Let's try one more. Here we go. Round 4 coming up. Alright, here we go. This is our round 4. We have a pretty respectable hand here. We're not very good on the way to casting a channel, though, which is definitely a problem. We're halfway there with Chromatic Sphere. And this Veil of Summer doesn't really do anything in our hand. I think I have to mull this one. I like Dark Ritual. I like having Mind's Desire in my hand. We don't have to search for it. I like Chromatic Sphere as well. It's good with a channel. I'm keeping this one, and the question is, do I go down to 2 lands? It would look like this. I don't know if I like that. But What's the alternate option? It's Chromatic Sphere. You know what? I think I need lands. I think I get rid of Chromatic Sphere. As is, this deck needs to just take a few turns and try to get to the Mind's Desire mana, so that's what we'll do. We'll have the center tap, try to save a bit of life here. It could end up being relevant. Find Demonic Tutor. What do we want out of this? Opponent is potentially holding up a counterspell. Maybe we just brainstorm at end of turn. Let's try to waste their mana. Alright, they just pass right back. Do we go for this brainstorm? I'd say yes. They don't counter it. We find channel. Okay, so all of a sudden we have a potential here. Let's put 2 Demonic Tutors onto the top of the library. And we'll go to our turn. We'll just wait things out here, I think. I can cast Channel and get 3 extra mana with Dark Ritual. It's not a kill yet. I think I wait 1 more than try to leverage my Demonic Tutors into finding something. Growth Spiral, okay. Field of Ruin. I don't like the look of that. We play a few basics, so I would probably find green mana off of that. Luckily, all of our lands, no matter what they choose to destroy, can cast Brainstorm as they die. And I think it's probably just get ready for more things happening soon. The tutors go back on top. Go to our turn. I mean, they have to be holding counter magic, right? I'll crack off a tutor here. I am allowed to have that. Well, this is interesting now. I could try to grab a Karn, or I could grab a Dark Ritual and set up for just going off this next turn. I can... Do I have 3 or 4 lands? I have 4 lands this turn, so next turn I'll have 5. I can put 2 mana into Channel, 1 mana into Dark Rituals, and then 2 into these pips. So then it would be okay to take a Dark Ritual. I can also Watery Grave, pay 2 life, assemble the team, try to bait out a counterspell. If not, I can grab a 0-cost artifact. Alright, there's a bauble. So that's fine. We will take action. We do play with some basic lands in here. Let's take this. So we are still on plan for next turn. If my channel gets countered, I can still Dark Ritual, bauble into Mind's Desire. Assuming all that resolves. Delighted Halfling, yeah, definitely commit to the board here. That's what I want to see. We have backup Mind's Desire, but that's honestly a downside in this situation. So we play Channel here. It's fine if they counter it. We can still do what we want to do. Yeah, that's fine. Guess we don't really need a Channel to resolve. Alright, so hopefully this means that their interaction is spent. And we actually need both Dark Rituals to resolve. They let it. Okay, here's Bauble. And we're going to get a bunch of looks here. I will take a look at the top of their library. It's an Oko. Alright. Well, here we go for a Mind's Desire for a total of 6. Mind's Desire for 5 Storm. Okay. If they have Stifle in their hand, we get absolutely destroyed here. Okay, so they take our Mind's Desire, but the Storm Trigger will still resolve. Mind's Desire and Storm in general does beat Counter Magic, with the exception of Flusterstorm. I take it a lot of people generally don't know that. Alright, so we can filter Veil into something as well. Though, we don't have the mana though, that's the issue. I think we've kind of been hamstrung here. Demonic Tutor, what do we find? I think I played a land already, so we need Ritual. Where's Dark Ritual? Dark Ritual. 1 mana makes 3. Cast, cast, cast. We make more black, and then we draw either Dark Ritual or Tendrils of Agony. We find a Demonic Tutor. We find Tendrils. Alright, that should be it. Demonic Tutor. Find the other Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Tendrils for 14. Wow. I thought our opponent had us there. We were looking pretty tough for a sec, but we were able to find a line, and that's really what I love about this style of gameplay right here. It's high level, high power. There's a lot of cool things to be done right now in this format. I have really been enjoying the no ban list format. Big thanks goes out to Wizards for coming up with cool events like this. Hope you guys have been enjoying it too. You guys should definitely be checking out some of these decks because they're a real fun time and you can play them for free. Alright, so those are round 4. We have a final round coming up. Stick around for some good, fun magic here. Let's go. Okay, this is the final round with our Sultai Storm. Okay, so this has double channel, which we cannot unfortunately cast on turn 2. I think I got a mulligan this one. All these cards are pretty solid. I'll keep 6. Chromatic Stars I think I'd rather have over more lands, but it's hard to say. Maybe I just don't take Veil of Summer. So I can start setting up some Chromatic Stars. Let's play it slow since our opponent hasn't killed us yet, though I imagine Channel is coming now. Okay, Channel next turn. Oh, maybe not even Channel to begin with. Okay, so we have Mind's Desire. We can Demonic Tutor for something. And I think I probably want to use these Chromatic Stars as a way of getting lands, or a way of drawing cards. So those are fine to sit on the battlefield. What happens from here from my opponent? I don't know what they're up to. Some sort of Aristocrats angle. Okay. So I can Demonic Tutor for something here. I can Brainstorm as well. Let's filter into blue and then into black, because actually I meant to filter into black. We have Bauble here for Storm. And we have some Brainstorms. Play a land, Demonic Tutor. I think we just set up a Dark Ritual find. And this means that next turn we should be able to do what we want. We'll pass and Brainstorm on their end step. So we might be able to get a mini Mind's Desire. It might not be enough to kill my opponent, but it might get us a partial kill. What are they holding priority for? Just another creature? Okay, well this is just some sort of like Aristocrats deck, and we are going to need the time here. We would have been dead against the Channel deck, so it's lucky that we weren't. It's lucky that we weren't playing one. And we just found what we needed here. Let's set this up to draw Demonic Tutor. And am I playing Channel next turn? I can Channel into Mind's Desire, but I might need to wait one more turn. Well, I shouldn't wait a turn because I just need to get going. So channel, we have all the black mana we need, but we won't have the blue if we play channel. So I think I put channel second, and then we just try with Demonic Tutor to go find something. Yeah, we just go for straight up Mind's Desire here. We want Demonic Tutor on top. Okay, move to our turn, draw land. Let's see if I did my math right. So we are going to save 2 blue. We're going to make a black here. We're going to Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. We have 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to cast Bauble. We can go ahead and sack Bauble. Take a look at their top right here. It's a forest. Nice. So now if I were to cast Demonic Tutor, I'd be left with 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's just enough to cast a Mind's Desire. So we will Demonic Tutor for another Mishra's Bauble. There it is. And let's Mishra's Bauble now from them. And sure, we already knew about that. And here's Mind's Desire for 5. We've also conveniently shuffled away our channel, which is good. Lands are going to be the death of us here. Ooh, Chromatic Sphere is not the move. We need to hit a channel, but it looks like we're not going to. Wow, we hit 3 lands here. That's not good. But we do hit another Mind's Desire, which means that it is not over yet. Here is Chromatic Sphere, and here is Mind's Desire for 8. We have to hit channel here, actually, because we do not have any mana right now. We hit a channel. That means good things. So we can now Karn find, and we can go Karn for a kill here. So this is Karn minus, find Aetherflux Reservoir, cast Channel, cast Reservoir, auto pay. We can Brainstorm here, gain some life, and this should be it. We draw into some stuff that we don't really care about, and we go Demonic Tutor. We can find another Mishra's Bauble, and the win is trivial from here. Bauble, Star, and let's just continue it all the way out just because. Go to 84 and we'll just about be at 100. And then we can Aetherflux our opponent for lethal. Alright, well, we've been able to combo in a variety of ways here. I really enjoyed this deck, and I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the content from the channel and this event in general. If you have, you can support me with the YouTube algorithm by liking the video or by putting a comment onto it. And if you really want to support me, you can also, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. That's one of the things that helps me out the most. With that being said, thanks for sticking around and watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck as much as I did, and I hope you go out and try it. We can have a lot of Storm fans just running around the historic queue here. But with that said, I'm out of here. That's it from me. Go play the deck, go have some fun, go enjoy this format as a whole. I'll see you in the next one.